right, let's call another number that we got here for the Bureau of Prisons. 1-202-307-0222. And if anybody ever accuses us of being annoying, I would hope that if you were in prison that you would have annoying people. Yes, ma'am. Hello. Is this the Bureau of Prisons?
Yes, it is.
Hi, ma'am. My name is Rudy Davis, and I'm calling on behalf of Pastor Kent Hovind, who's a friend of mine. He's all of his charges were dropped yesterday. He should have been released to home confinement in February of 2015. I've got his Bureau of Prison registration number, and we're just trying to find out what the... are you in Washington, D.C., by the way?
I am.
Okay, great. And we're just trying to find out what the policy is, because everybody keeps talking about policy, and I'm not familiar with what that is. You know, he spent over a year in Santa Rosa County Jail, and he's in Pensacola, and he's literally 2.5 miles from his children, his grandchildren, and his wife. And we're just hoping that he gets released as soon as possible, and we're trying to understand what has to happen in order for him to be released from prison. We have a lot of people that are anxiously awaiting him to be released.
Well, I'm looking at his release date, sir. The database says August 1st, 2015.
Okay, in my understanding in talking to Pastor Hovind and also in discussing this with others, is there was a home confinement that should have been available in February, but they brought up new charges, and those new charges is what prohibited him from going home in February, and that the lady within the Bureau of Prisons that was working that paperwork has retired, and so all the paperwork, I think it could have been Darlene Tyler. I'm not sure. If it's not Darlene Tyler, she may know the lady that was working that paperwork. But I guess here's my question, ma'am. You're saying August, but he should have been released in February of 2015 to home confinement, and the reason he didn't go home in February was because of the new charges, but the new charges, all of those charges just recently got dropped, and so everybody's thinking, you know, he should be back in home confinement. Is there anything that you know about that, or that you can help us?
I can only disclose public information, sir. So based on the BOP's policy, his projected release date is August 1st. Home confinement dates are not public information.
Okay. What if Kent Hovind himself, that wouldn't be considered public information, because I plan on talking to him later today. Could he contact you guys? How does he go about contacting you guys for his own?
I don't know if he can. You're saying he's still incarcerated? I don't know how he can phone the Bureau of Prisons, sir.
Right.
I don't know where he's being housed or what the rules are. Typically, inmates that are in the custody of the Bureau of Prisons at institutions aren't allowed to just call. I mean, they can communicate with BOP staff either via letter or email. Okay.
Well, let me ask the question a different way. So there is I understand you can't release the date for home confinement, but how does home confinement even, how does the prisoner find out about it? If you can't release it and he can't call you, how would he find...
The BOP has a home confinement eligibility date that's on the BOP website, and then the staff will consider an inmate for home confinement. If the staff at the institution consider it, they usually communicate with the inmate if they're going to consider him for home confinement.
Oh, so only the staff have visibility into that. So I think it's Charles E. Samuels Jr. that's the BOP director. So he would certainly have access to that as well, right?
It's the director. That's correct.
Okay, so maybe I should redirect my questions to the director. But you mind if I really appreciate your help this morning? You really have helped clarify some things. Do you mind if I get your name just so I have it when I?
My name is Miss Melvin, sir.
Miss Melvin, okay. Thank you very much, Miss Melvin. I really appreciate your help. Okay, thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right, that was Miss Melvin at 202-307-0222. And basically what they're saying is the public release date is August 1st, right? You just heard her say that. But this home confinement, which should have been done in February, that's not available to me as the public. It's only available to the staff. Of course, it's available to the Bureau of Prisons director, who he's the manager of 39,000 employees, and that would be Charles E. Samuels Jr. So based on this conversation I just had with Miss Melvin in Washington, D.C., I think we need to inundate Charles E. Samuels Jr. And he obviously has access to that home confinement date, and his phone number is 202-307-3198. Charles E. Samuels Jr., 202-307-3198. And he obviously knows who's eligible for home confinement, and if he was eligible in February of 2015, he certainly is eligible now. So let's call Charles E. Samuel Jr.